Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael and we're going to be getting right back into some more Reddit stories. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's begin. This story was posted by a user named Cheaters Suck in the True Off My Chest subreddit. The post is titled, "I saw my husband and my sister naked in my kitchen. I can't move. If I move, it becomes real and I have to accept what I saw and think about what's next. I came home from work early and saw my sister's car, thinking maybe she was dropping off some food from her job, but no. I walked in and saw my husband and sister naked in my kitchen, the kitchen I paid for. As soon as I registered what I saw, I got into my car and left. I kept driving, just driving until I found the hotel I'm at now. I don't want to believe it. I don't know what to do. My sister, my only family, and my best friend. The one who's supposed to be there for me and support me. My husband, my person, my other half. The one who's supposed to love and respect me. The two most important people in my life have ruined everything. I've blocked them both on my phone. I don't want to hear any of the bullshit excuses they'll come up with. I don't want to confront this. I want to go back to this morning when everything was fine." User XMSit said, "Unblock them and just let their calls go to voicemail. Turn the ringer off for each of them in your contacts. That way you can get recorded proof of their apologies and excuses via voicemail. You may need that type of proof for your divorce." A deleted user said, "Go back and tell him to pack up and go live with your sister. Unblock and keep every text and phone call for evidence in the divorce. Do not respond to any of them. Immediately call an attorney to protect your interests. My heart goes out to you. There is no greater violation than this, and I am so sorry. Your ex is an awful person, but your sister is much worse. There are no words for her. She no longer deserves to take up space in your mind or heart. No contact is the only way to move on. I know cutting them out of your life will be devastating, but you will move on. You will get better, and someday you will find someone who truly loves and respects you. These two people are not it. You deserve better." User NeoBuilds Dashboards said, "I had a girl who I was with for 2 years and was about to propose. Then she slept with my twin brother, who, by the way, I was moving in with the day after. It's the worst kind of betrayal and it took years to get over. Go see a therapist. It will help you process what I can only imagine are a whirlwind of thoughts. I waited a year and a half to do that and wish I'd done it sooner. I made a lot of bad decisions during that time. Update. Sorry for not replying to comments and not updating. Things have been hectic. I didn't think I needed to explicitly say this, but by naked, I meant they were completely naked and having sex in the kitchen. I admit that mentioning I paid for the kitchen was odd and kind of funny, but anyone who knows me knows that the kitchen is my pride and joy. So yes, when I saw my sister and husband having sex in my kitchen, it stuck with me. And yes, they did see me. When I got to the hotel, I cried for a few hours and then I just wanted to tell someone, anyone. The two people I would normally talk to when something happened in my life were the two I needed to talk about. And it was around 11 in the evening, so I wasn't going to disrupt my friends' evenings and burden them. So instead, I came to Reddit thinking not many would see it. The response I received was overwhelming. I want to say thank you to everyone who sent me kind words and advice. Thank you so much for all the virtual hugs. I only commented once. That is because I had so much to think about and do. I appreciate all the love and support. There was so much amazing advice given in the comments. Although a lot of it was American-based, I still appreciate it. One thing I did see a lot was advice to unblock them and keep the texts and calls as evidence, so I did that. After posting and having another good cry, I knew that I had to get my act together. I didn't have my sister or any family to help, so I had to do it myself. I started researching what my next steps should be. In the morning, my friend called me saying my sister contacted her wondering if I had been in touch with her. I told her what happened and she very kindly offered her spare room and her day off work to help me sort things out. I called in sick at my job and my friend helped to get things done. I got in touch with another friend who works at a bank and she helped me start sorting out my finances. My friend also found me a lawyer to consult with. After my phone consultation with the lawyer, I felt so overwhelmed. Now I understand why so many women don't divorce their cheating husbands. It's such a lengthy, expensive, and emotionally draining process. Fortunately, I make a stable income and can support myself, and we don't have kids. I have to remember that things aren't going to happen in one day. It will all take time. As for the house, unfortunately, his parents bought it for us, and to be honest, after what I saw, I don't want it. I will try to get reimbursed for my beloved kitchen, otherwise it can burn for all I care. This has been super draining, but I knew I had to talk to them. I already knew there was no coming back for my husband, and when I checked his messages, they said exactly what I thought they would say. I'm sorry, it's not what it looks like. We didn't mean for it to happen. Please come home. I love you. Just absolute bullshit. A small part of me thought maybe I could find it in me to forgive my sister since we only have each other, but after I opened her messages, all hope was lost. She used the same excuses we heard our father use when he cheated on our mother and beat us. She said the same things our mother would say when she would excuse our dad's behavior and also beat us. I spoke to her this morning and asked her to tell me straight up who, what, where, when, and why. She told me that back in July when I went on a girls' trip, she was at our house and joked to my husband that I would cheat on him during the trip because that's what always happens. He said nah, and they joked about it, but she said he could get even with me, and they ended up doing it once. One time led to 2, then to 3, and then to whenever they could do it. There was never any evidence or signs that I was going to cheat or even thinking of cheating. I told her we were done and that there was nothing she could do to bring us back together. Later, I received a call from an unknown number. It was my mother, whom I haven't spoken to in 7 years. It turns out my sister has been in contact with her and told her what had happened. My piece of shit mother, the same woman who beat me for breathing wrong, had the audacity to say, "This is what I get for taking her daughters away from her. It hurts so much. I know things are going to get messier and that this is going to be a long few years. I have now lost all my blood relations. I need to get all my things and find a new place. I want to show them that I can and I will thrive without them. Again, thank you all from the bottom of my heart for all the love and advice. And to all the people in the comments who could relate to me, I'm so sorry." This next post was made in the relationship advice subreddit by a user named Goblin. The post is titled, "My BF is upset with me because I didn't make his plate and serve it to him during Christmas. Where do I go from here? Our 5-year anniversary is a couple of weeks from now and we have a 2-year-old. I didn't know anything was wrong until we started the 5-hour drive home after spending the holidays with my family. He was quiet pretty much the whole way and snapped at me when I asked why he was following too closely behind a vehicle and driving fast. As soon as we got home, he left without a word for a couple of hours. When he came back, he said he went to the mall to buy a couple more gifts and some shoes for himself. I'm annoyed because I have been telling him for weeks to pick out shoes and I would buy them for his upcoming birthday. He's really hard to shop for and picky about his clothes. So I asked him why he bought himself shoes when I wanted to buy him some as a gift. He responded in a rude tone, "Send me $100 then because that's how much they were." I finally asked him what his problem was, and he said he was upset that I didn't make him a plate. I spent over 4 hours cooking for my whole family and also cooked for Christmas Eve the day before. I was tired. The holidays are exhausting. I couldn't believe he was upset about that. He seemed annoyed on Boxing Day because we ordered pizza and I made a plate for my stepfather who uses a cane. I told him to make himself a plate and he just sat there. He also said I barely looked at him during our visit, and if I did, I didn't smile or look at him lovingly. Like I said, I was tired. My 2-year-old was also extra clingy, so I felt overstimulated and just tried to be present with my family. Lastly, he was mad because I didn't go sledding with him and my family. I stayed back with my sister and baby niece, and we watched a romantic comedy. I wanted to relax and have some me time, and he was upset about that, saying I just wanted to go on my phone, which I did. I got to watch TikToks and just scroll for a bit. Anyway, after we got home and had this conversation, I left upset and went to have dinner by myself while he took our child for a walk. As soon as I got home, he left again and didn't come back for 4 hours. We have barely spoken since then, and I don't want to be the one to sit down and start this conversation, to coddle him and make him feel better. I'm so sick of this. Where do I go from here? User Lady Klepsydra said, "Sounds like you are a servant to him, not a partner. Considering his age, this most likely comes from deeply rooted misogyny and won't change. Watch out for isolation attempts. The way he didn't like you taking some me time with your family, but wanted you to be with him and his family instead doesn't bode well. Do not prioritize his family over yours. That is my advice. You don't want to end up isolated from your closest people with a controlling sexist man, and it seems like you may end up exactly there." User Quirky Forever said, "This can't be the first time he's acted like this, right? Definitely go to your own therapy and talk to your therapist about what you want in a relationship and whether this guy will be able to provide that. If he is unable to speak to you like an adult about what's bothering him, he may not be the partner you need." That being said, I know a lot of people get particularly tense around the holidays, so it may be worth talking to him about what was happening for him, not to placate him, but to understand and move toward a healthier dynamic during the holidays in the future. But if he's going to continue to be passive-aggressive and childish, he may not be the partner you need. Update. Like an absolute dumbass, I stayed, cried my eyes out, and told him how I felt. He didn't have anything to say, just that he's sorry and will do better. We were okay for a week. Today is our 5-year anniversary. Well, it would have been. He broke up with me today. I've had to stay home all week with our child because of a parasite and am waiting for tests. On Thursday, I got sick and still am sick with what feels like a chest cold or infection. The morning of our anniversary, he goes rock climbing. I don't know what time he left, but he was gone until noon. I was pissed and texted him that it would have been nice to have help while I rested. I canceled the reservations I made at the restaurant where we met. When I told him this, he ripped up the card he got me, told me he's gonna stay elsewhere and that we're done. He said I am miserable and just want to be sad and that I make him pay for all the ways my dad failed me. My father could care less about me and I have daddy issues. I don't think I'm being unreasonable for expecting him to spend the whole day with me or to come back early from climbing. I didn't even get a good morning or happy anniversary text, but it is what it is. Anyway, you all were right. I knew it in my heart but didn't want to believe it. There's no coming back from this, but I'm okay. Thank you for letting me vent and for all of your advice. It's nice to come back and read all the positive support. This final post was made in the AITAH subreddit by a user named Pretty Penelope. The post is titled AITA for punching my ex-husband's new GF for hitting my daughter. I have a 6-year-old daughter. I had her at 17 years old with my ex-husband, Devin. Devin and I got married at 18 and divorced at 20 due to his cheating. He doesn't pay a dime to financially support our daughter. I am our daughter's full-time caretaker. My ex-husband only sees our daughter once a month. I beg him to spend more time with her, but I shouldn't have to beg him to be a father. He recently got into a relationship with his new girlfriend, Haley. Ever since Haley entered my ex-husband's life, she has bashed me. She blamed me for my daughter being autistic and said my daughter is autistic because I coddle her. I do not coddle my child. I legitimately try my best with the situation I was dealt. My daughter was diagnosed with autism at 4 years of age. We have her in speech therapy and behavioral therapy. She has a therapist she sees twice a week and also has developmental delays. I try to work with her every day on her speech and behavior. Yesterday, my daughter went to stay the night at her dad's house where his girlfriend Haley was present. She lives there now. My daughter's father called me and told me to come over and pick up our child because she was upset. When I arrived, I saw that she had red marks, welts, and bruises all over her legs. I was furious and asked what happened. My daughter told me that she spilled water on the floor and on the couch, which made Haley mad. She hit her with a belt. I rushed into the house and I don't know what came over me. I punched Haley in the face and beat her up. I didn't even realize I did it until I saw her on the floor. Haley wanted to press charges against me, but my ex talked her out of it. I went to the police station with my daughter right after and filed a police report. I showed them the bruises, welts, and marks. I pressed charges for child abuse and reported my ex-husband to CPS for child neglect and abuse. I am still shaken up from the situation. I took photos of my daughter's legs and arms. I will never let my daughter go over to her dad's ever again. I beat myself up over this. If I had known that Haley would hit my child, I wouldn't have let her go over there in the first place. Am I the asshole? User Financial Board said, not the asshole. You reported the abuse and also protected your child from her abuser. Your child couldn't protect herself, and the useless sperm donor didn't protect her either, which makes him an accomplice. You should have beaten the shit out of him too with the belt. To this, OP said, I should have, honestly, but he has really strong arms, so I did not want to chance it. User Not Average said, not the asshole, but it is probably worth consulting a lawyer as soon as possible. Reporting her for child abuse increases the likelihood that she will press charges against you for your actions toward her, and you will want legal advice on how to protect yourself against those charges. Update. After 40 long days, they made an arrest based on the evidence I gave them. My daughter's dad sent texts admitting that Haley beat our daughter with a belt, and I have pictures of the welts and bruises on my daughter. She was recently arrested. My daughter no longer sees her father. I have full custody, and I'm in the process of determining if there's anything I can do to get his parental rights terminated. User Outside Beginning said, I'm so sorry you broke your finger taking out the trash. Here is your crown, queen. You dropped it while you were teaching the trash where it belongs. User Sweet Becky said she's going to have so much fun in prison because there are inmates who don't take kindly to child abusers. To this user, Aggressive Story said, especially because a lot of those women themselves are mothers. The thought of another woman hurting their babies while they are powerless to stop it will infuriate them.